Hi, and welcome.
I'm Z,
And I'm Keith.
and we're going to tell you about the movie that we just watched. But first, a little bit of a heads up.
Some of the movies we watch deal with heavy subject matters.
In order to talk about these emotionally delicate things and the heavy subject matters that we sometimes cover, we add humor and crude language to add some levity and to process our own trauma.
If that doesn't feel fun or safe for you, we completely understand. Please take care of yourself first and foremost.
And we spoil the end of pretty much every movie that we watch.
Now you know. On with the show. I'm correct. Oh boy, right again.
Holler Reed.
Yeah, why is it called that?
I don't know. I was looking up, and I don't know why it's called that. At least the neighbor is having spiritual psychosis or whatever, blasting Christian music.
At least it means she's awake now, and it's not just like self-help tapes.
Yeah, at least.
Small miracles.
No trivia whatsoever about this movie.
Like I said last night, I'm surprised it's even on IMDb.
Why are you surprised? Everything's on IMDb. I think porn is also.
Well, you're on there.
I know. That's why I said that.
Know anything about this? Be the first to.
Yeah. It's
Honestly, I wouldn't have. I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
no. I mean, yeah, but you were?
Until it became clear you were a Donovan head and started seeking out everything you'd ever been in.
Yeah.
I may have convinced myself that I made this movie up, you know.
Well, you did for a while insist that there was a movie that he was in that didn't seem to exist. That you'd amalgamated like all of his '90s films that you'd seen.
That I'd seen, yeah.
Yeah.
The non-Hartley.
You were like saying there was a period piece with him called The Hollow Reed, I think, but that's not. There's nothing.
Maybe I saw a clip from.
Yeah, maybe. One of his other. Yeah, I know.
The Campion one.
Yeah. That worst film of 2024 that we watched. I can't remember what it is. Portrait of a Lady.
The Portrait of a Lady.
The Portrait of a Lady. Ugh.
No, I am a stickler about it because it's so stupid.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the name of the novel.
That's fine. I begrudge that movie a lot.
Oh, yeah. I think it for...
I think it.
Every day I think about Brown King Cyrus. And I think that movie for finally closing the door on Jane Campion for me. I'm serious.
Her fucking... that acceptance speech that she made, I was like, ooh, girl.
Yeah.
Rewatching the piano, I was... Piano. That piano. Rewatching the piano, I was like, ooh, girl. Somebody don't like brown people.
Yeah, go figure. Go figure a New Zealander would...
Yeah, right. Oh, my God. Yeah.
That movie's okay. The piano.
Oh, the piano. Yeah. There's a lot of cunnilingus in it, so I don't begrudge that.
Not enough.
That's fair. That's fair. You do get to see Harvey Keitel's dong full frontal.
Yep.
Something I never asked for.
Never ever.
Sing it, girl. I've never seen Martin Donovan naked in a movie.
Yeah.
Not even this one.
Sadly.
I know.
I realize how similar, well, obviously it's pretty superficial, but his character is very similar to his character in The Opposite of Sex.
I disagree
He's
with
gay.
exactly.
He likes classical music. In this case, Bob Dylan.
Oh my God, I think that's the only thumbs down for this movie for me. I don't want to hear Bob Dylan ever.
It's definitely the biggest thumbs down for me.
Yeah. I was reflecting on the film this morning. After, good Lord, fucking shoot me in the head. Especially after rewatching the end with sound, on. It
To clarify what Z's referring to is, I spent over a year trying to
Yeah.
download this movie.
through completely legal
And-
and totally,
Got to 99.9%.
yeah,
So I'm like, that's got to be good. You know,
yeah,
I'm sure it's never going to finish because that'll happen.
yeah, right, yeah.
But it was stuck at like 60%
Oh,
or
yeah,
something
it
for
was-
like
Yeah,
9 months or something.
Yeah.
And then suddenly one day it raced to 99.
thank you, whoever you are.
And
yeah.
So I said, finally, we can do it. But it's like the last 10 minutes.
Is no sound.
There's no
audio whatsoever.
Which
And
turns out there's not a lot of dialogue.
right.
And what there is, you can guess. But
yeah, I didn't remember. I thought it ended in the yard
yeah,
with the fist fight.
may
That's
as well
right.
have.
But when so I was gonna be like, I don't fucking need sound. But when the actual end happened, I was like, oh fuck. I kind of want to know what's been said.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot. It's a very impressive movie in regards to coming out in 1986. And
Yeah, I feel like the UK was ahead
That's
of
fair.
the US in
Yeah.
a lot of
yeah,
gay ways,
yeah,
gay mainstreaming ways,
yeah.
or at least having the conversations, right?
And that anti-vax thing, they brought that. They really pushed that
They
here.
that
Thank
one guy
you.
really started that.
Thank
and
you so much. We love you. Kisses.
Dr. MMR himself, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Watch the 5-hour documentary by
Yeah.
H. Bomber guy.
Yeah. Watch anything by H. Bomber.
Well,
Guy. He's
yes.
great. But yeah. Yeah, no, there's a lot in this movie that I think is very subtly done, which is what I like. They don't spell it out for you like in like the way that they even the sex scenes that they do, like a lot of stuff is very, very like showing you and not telling you, which I find
Interesting.
impressive. Especially since it very much, it feels like a very this is going to sound like an insult, but I don't mean it this way. But it feels like a very well done after school special.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a
But,
very
like,
special episode.
yeah, that's what it feels like. But like, I don't mean that as in a bad way.
Yeah,
Just like
yeah.
it's that one that stands out. You know, like you're like,
Right.
oh, this isn't
Right.
This isn't like the rest.
The
you
one
know?
that is actually-
Yeah. And you're like, you know, because sometimes there's like very special episodes, and you're like, oh my god, why? But this is like the Tom Hanks episode of Family Ties or whatever.
Where he drinks vanilla extract.
Yeah, and cherry and
It's cherries.
cher-
Yeah, I
maraschino
didn't remember
cherries.
that part.
Yeah. This is where you were like, it's vanilla extract, and I'm like, it's maraschino cherries, and we argued, and then you looked
We
it
were
up.
both
and
right.
It was both.
Forgot about that.
I think it's because I knew that there was alcohol in vanilla extract, but I didn't know that there was alcohol in maraschino cherries. I mean, I'm using quotes here. I'm using quotes.
Yeah,
real.
I mean, you gotta get special.
Right.
not all. If you just go and get maraschino cherries, and it doesn't specify that they're have alcohol, they're not going to have alcohol.
Yeah. That's fine. But yeah. Anyway.
I think it was more common though, because I remember my mom telling me a story that when my brother was a baby.
My brother.
They were out some function that had cherries, and they gave him one and got him drunk.
Nice.
And that's why he's an alcoholic.
Yeah, that's why he is the way he is.
So, funny joke.
My old neighbor, who was not a white supremacist.
Oh,
just kidding.
Good to know.
He was like kind of, I don't want to say developmentally disabled because it's not quite correct but it was like.
Well, if he's not a white supremacist, clearly there's something wrong with him.
But he was like at like 2 was like getting into his parents' like booze and like drinking it. And he
told you this?
Yeah. And he was like
2?
Yeah, at like very young he was drinking.
Were they keeping it?
I don't know.
In the crib?
I guess. I don't know. He was just like a baby and was like going after their booze. But he drank himself into basically like he was sort of he drank himself disabled basically.
Oh, I see.
He could not. He was like kind of like a non-functioning alcoholic because he could not drink alcohol without it causing a seizure.
Oh.
And he had a few seizures in the time that I knew.
All right.
He'd be like, I just want to have a drink, and then he would just he would seize out. He'd be like, I had a seizure, you know.
Worth it.
Yeah, and he would like, but he couldn't like live on his own or anything like that. Like he was like, he was in his. It was the family I was a nanny for when I lived in Nevada. He was like in his 20s, but he'd been married and everything, and he just like drank to the point where he was just. He was non-functional.
You hear that, kids?
Yeah, you can drink yourself stupid.
If you start young enough and you're committed and determined.
You can have a real problem. I don't know. That's a fun little story. You're welcome. So, I really want to just knock on the door and be like, girl, she's
living her best life. I don't know why you're
living her worst life. Oh my God. I feel like if you have to blare it like that loud, it's like you're trying to drown out the voices. And it's like, what are they telling you? What are the voices telling you?
Okay, you wear headphones all day, 24/7.
I know. But I don't make other people listen to Doja Cat on repeat. Okay? I listen to that. I don't make other people do it.
You see that thing? Speaking of, I almost sent this to you. See the thing where a fan gave her a shirt and.
Oh yeah, she said she threw that musty thing away.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I have the internet.
You could just say no.
I have the internet. So yeah, I saw it. And
I had to look up to see if John Bolton was a real person. Has the internet.
Look, I don't know white men. Martin Don was the only white man I know. And
one's enough.
Yeah. No, but like I think okay, so the premise of the White Hollow read or whatever. The Hollow read is that there's I don't know what
skin flute. I don't know why you're doing that.
I don't know. Here's the Hollow read, okay? And it's basically just like a divorced couple with a kid. The kid is getting beat up a lot. And he's the father, who's a gay man who came out after he was married to a woman and had a kid. Knows something.
After they had sex the one time that made a child, he said, this is not for me.
He said, whoops. Shouldn't have done that.
Well, we don't find this out. until later. I mean, it's
We
clear
don't
that
find what out until later.
well, some of those Pacifics, like
Yeah. I think it does good in that, where you're like
Yeah,
kind of
I like
coming
that.
into this and you don't, it's like the kids getting beat up and it's like, oh, kids did it at school. And they're like, so they kind of like go to the parents and the parents are like, I don't really know what you're talking about because we haven't seen them in a while. And he's like, and the dad sort of investigates more than the mom does because the mom's, a single mom who works too hard, who loves their kids and never stops.
she's not a good parent.
Gentle hands in the heart of a fighter. She's a survivor. But she doesn't give a shit about the kids. Her one kid. Yeah, like I think that's the thing that's like very interesting. Like there is so much focus on whether or not this gay man is fit to take care of his kid when he's legitimately the only person like trying to take care of his kid and like actively working to get his kid out of an abusive situation. But there's no question on the mom, and she's doing things repeatedly that's like harming the kid, but it's just the father who's being questioned. And like even like they have like the sex scene that's really hot and really good, and I would recommend buying the VHS copy of this. And why wasn't that the spot on the VHS rip that was just absolutely shredded? Like that was very confusing to me. That didn't have there was no tracking on that scene. I'm like, did you fast forward through this?
Probably.
You fucking sicko. Did you not even watch it, you pervert? But
It's too close to home.
but like that scene is like, it's very, I think it like the thing that's like interesting is the focus is like making it seem realistic and like sexy and like stuff like that. But like the kid wasn't there.
Right.
He doesn't stay with the dad. He
Right.
stays with the mom. So, it's showing you this sex scene. It's showing you that he has passion with his partner. But then when the mom has a like sex scene, it doesn't show you that, but the kid is there. It's after he's been harmed. And it's there you don't notice it because it's heterosexual. It's supposed to be like that.
Right.
But they don't and so I think that was like a really subtle sort of like, you're shocked by the fact that someone's having sex with, in their own home
Right.
with their monogamous partner, when no one is around, but the mom is doing this after she's caught this man abusing her child. Then they have sex when the kid's in the house, and like that
It sets you up nicely for then we have the scenes in court.
Yeah. Right. Yes.
Where those things are brought up.
Right. And they're like, you're going to, they're asking the dad these questions, like you're going to sleep in a room, you and your partner are going to sleep in a room next to your kid,
Right.
And you're going to do that while your kid is, and it's like the mom is not being questioned in this way whatsoever.
Right.
And like, there's no real question of how she's having sex, who she's sleeping with, when she started sleeping with this person, whether or not like they live together. And that's not seen as anything negative, even though he's literally beating the shit out of her kid, breaking his hand, like hurting, like actively.
Works for the Saudis
Right.
occasionally.
Was he married? Has he got kids?
I don't know. He's single. He spent some time in Saudi working. That's all I know.
And and like the questions are so focused on like how often the dad is having sex with men.
Yeah.
And like the fact that he cheated on his wife with a man, and it's like, even like his partner is like, he's being questioned as to like how fit he is to be around kids because he's gay.
Yeah.
And like stuff like that is like, I feel like it's really well done because this is, and it doesn't, this is why I say it shows you, it doesn't tell you, because it's not like, it's showing you these things. It's showing you these very real things. And yes, it is dialogue, but they're not like being like, how come he asked them questions and not me? Or like, or, how come these
Right.
questions, they're not having to like explain to you. And And did you notice the difference between the two questions? Did you see, which is
Well,
how
I
it
mean,
would be.
you do get things earlier. I mean, if you know anything about the U.S. legal system, and what I know is primarily fictionalized versions, but like Martin at one point says they always favor the mother.
Yeah, right.
And, he's the first one to bring up, like, well, they're going to start looking into
Yeah, right. Yeah.
everything, so you're going to have to move out.
Yeah.
So, yes, they don't tell you all at once or,
Right. Yeah.
that directly, but it's there. I mean, like,
Yeah, for sure. I do like the part where, the partner is like, oh my God, there was this case right in this town where like two lesbians were given custody. And he's like, yeah, the mom,
right.
And I think,
like, if two unemployed dykes can...
Dudley versus Maxwell, 1993. Two lesbians got custody of a 6-year-old girl here in this town.
Hi.
Hi.
They're always more sympathetic to mothers.
A couple of unemployed dykes took them on and won. You are a white middle-class doctor, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, that was good. I like, but yeah, I think it's like the fact, I do really like the fact that he's a doctor.
Yeah.
And there's so little, like, it's like no one gives like, that would be like such a focus if it was like here. That would be like so much. It reminds me a little bit of like Blue is the Warmest Color. I fucking hate that movie. But it's like, it's a French movie. So they have this whole thing where like there's, they're in a relationship. The two girls are in a relationship and the one, one of the girls goes to the other girl's family's house and they're like, oh, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm going to be a teacher. And they're like, I'm sorry, you're going to teach? They're like, our daughter's an artist. She's making a career out of that. And you want to be a teacher? And I was like, this is 100% the opposite of how it would be in the U.S. It would never.
I don't know that even makes that much sense in France.
It was so hilarious. They were just like, and that was the whole thing. She was an
Our
artist.
Our daughter is doing something serious. She's okay.
I didn't look at you. I'm sorry. I looked away. I didn't do nothing.
Well, that's something.
I can't.
Let's move on, please.
I'm sorry. Oh my God. If you the sound that you're hearing is not us adding mood music. If any sound comes through, it's because we weren't able to completely demolish the blaring bass of Christian.
You think it's Christian? It's like too.
It sounds like what they would play if they were in like a modern Christian church.
So Celine Dion?
Kind of. A Celine Dion-y kind of, Anyway.
I thought, because I don't remember who Jolie Roberts is. I thought it was, you were saying it was Ian Hart. When I asked, so is that Jolie Roberts? And you said yes. I was talking about him. So for like half the movie. No, much more than half. I think it was the very last scene when they're in the yard and she's standing there and just going forever. And I'm like, oh no, she looks like a Redgrave. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. She was also in Nip Tuck.
Hey, that's great.
I know.
Ian Hart. What?
Go. I know what you're gonna say, so I'm laughing.
I know him as Professor Queerman. Who gets a...
You're holding your own hand. No, keep going. So sorry.
He gets a Voldemort on the back of his head.
Yeah, he's in the first Harry Potter movie. This. I was like, why do I know this motherfucker's face? Why do I know this face? And it's because of the first Harry Potter movie.
He also apparently, speaking of Bob Dylan, he played a musician whose name is something like John Lennon or something in a movie called Backbeat, which is a big deal when it came out, I remember. And also a big deal for me personally because Cheryl Lee takes her top off.
Oh, shit.
She plays Astrid Kircher, I think is her name. Because Backbeat covers the time when they were in Germany.
You mean the Beatles?
Yeah, whatever they were called. I don't really know about
Yeah.
these people. But, so she's German, and Klaus Verman was hanging out with them at the same time. The real Klaus Verman, so there's someone who plays Klaus Verman in Backbeat. The real Klaus Verman is in Popeye. He doesn't have any lines, but he's like the band leader at the end.
Okay. You're no, you're fucking.
I can't do nothing.
I'm sorry.
Please don't look at me, period.
I'm sorry.
I'm just a big joke today.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that.
Glory upon your house.
Fuck. Yeah, I think it's I do like that he just goes with the dad at the end. And the mom's like, if you want to come see me sometime, just let me know. And he's just like, bye.
Yeah, I don't know what... that could have been an email.
Right, yeah. I do like that she comes over and they're like, we'll leave you two alone. And he's like, Dad, can you come get this bitch?
We're playing Star Wars. I'm busy right now.
We're playing Gay Wars, so you can get out of here. So much Star Wars is in this.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised that it is.
Well, it's probably why I got, as you said, can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's on
Cease and desist.
Tubi. It's on Tubi, which is also shocking. But and it's been on Tubi. That's how I watched it the first time was Tubi.
Oh, okay. So, guys, this is on Tubi.
This
you
is
can
on
watch
Tubi.
it on
You
Tubi.
can watch it for free on Tubi. You can also watch another movie with a similar plot called Custody of the Heart on Tubi,
I've got custody.
which also
the
has
heart.
Martin Donovan in it. I'll probably watch that
Really?
next. I'm not kidding.
No. I mean, really about the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's about it's called Custody
I'm not
of the Heart.
surprised that you're going to watch a movie with Martin Donovan.
I don't. No, I'm saying it really has Martin Donovan in it. It's called Custody of the Heart. I don't know if it's about a gay man. I
Not
don't know
without
if
my
he's
daughter.
gay, but yeah, that's one.
Just
yeah.
watch the opposite of sex. That's a actually good movie.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that a lot. And yeah, this
Back
is
when Natasha Lyonne was
queer.
still Christina Ricci. I used to confuse them because I saw Die Mommy Die around the same time as something else.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That actually had Christina Ricci in it.
Was it Buffalo 66 or whatever?
No, because I've never watched that. Next question.
God, I hate that fucking dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his reason d'etre. Also, remember how I discovered, because of someone else, that he has a website where you can, I don't know if he still does it, but the website still exists. And on said website, you can pay to have a date with him.
Matt, oh my God. I have an OnlyFans too. You're not special.
I think it predates OnlyFans.
No, I'm sure it does. Well, I'm sure it does.
Not that that's
Actually, technically, that would be a tryst and not an OnlyFans, because you can't talk about meeting up on OnlyFans.
assignation.
Tryst is an escort site.
Assignation is a synonym.
Cinnamon in Indiana.
In Indiana. Icelandic Dictionary.
Icelandic Dictionary.
Shout out to Betsy Sidaro. I hope you're okay. I'm glad you got to do some voices on Bob's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Used to follow her on Instagram.
Used to?
Yeah. I don't know if I still do. I think I quit following a lot of people that I started following just because they were
Not doing enough?
actors.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't following them for really any other reason.
Yeah. Yeah. I always feel guilty if I start. If I follow someone just solely based on like aesthetics, they always turn out to be a horrible person. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about this.
I can't possibly go back.
I don't know how I'm supposed to change this.
I meant to look up if Ian Hart is a actual homosexual.
Actual homosexual.
Since he played Professor Queerman.
Homosexual. Yeah. Will you explain what Professor Queerman
I will.
is?
I think it's queer. What is it? Queerle?
Oh, I don't.
So
I was about to Google Professor Queerman and not even.
see what happens. I brought it up, I'm sure, many times, but I force anyone that puts up with me for longer than 30 seconds to watch a little something called Wizard People, Dear Reader.
I really don't think he is, just based on the fact that he wears hats. I really can't. I know that he's balding, but just
Well, it's also the UK, so, you know.
Yeah, as a gay, I've had sex with enough gay men to know they don't wear hats.
That famous noir
Spouse Lynn Hart, so.
Gay men don't wear hats. Who?
Lynn Hart? I don't know. She has the same last name as him, so clearly they're related. Cousins. Why would you marry someone with the last name as you? Why do so many people do
I
that?
know. It's gross.
It's really perverted.
I thought that was just for the royal family. Royal family. Wizard people. Dear Reader.
Yeah.
Is an alternate soundtrack to a Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah.
Done by Brad Neely, which is one of my favorite comedy works.
Yeah. Other people might know it as Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which is the actual title of it.
Really?
Yeah. They changed it to
Oh, right, because they didn't think
Sorcerer's Stone
Americans would
because
know
they
what the
thought-
Philosopher's Stone was?
They didn't want to confuse Americans.
I don't understand. That's so weird.
I don't know.
I mean, I get the argument, but
I know Americans are fucking...
I know we're dumb, but you don't need to know what the Philosopher's Stone is.
Exactly. Right.
Especially if we're going to change the name of it. What?
No, but like... I mean, in the UK, in other places, it's the Philosopher's Stone. Like, that's just...
Is that the name of the book?
Yeah. It's the name of the book and the movie. Like, they're both... in the UK. In the UK, I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, if you're like, we have this world of fake magic, and we don't want to confuse people by saying Philosopher's Stone.
He's a wizard, but he's doing philosophy?
You have a word... You have a muggle. Like, you made... What? Like...
Yeah, it's like how they made dude call Glass Onion a Knives Out mystery or whatever? You remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
No, I don't remember that. They made him do that?
Yeah, he had some quote where he's like, "I didn't want to do that. I just wanted."
Call
I
it
mean,
Glass Onion.
I think he wanted to call it a whatever Daniel Craig's character is,
Oh.
like a
Poirot. Homo Poirot.
Monsieur Queerman, Detective.
Yeah, Daniel Craig. Is he again? I mean, I know he's married to like Rachel Weisz or whatever, but like they're both like they both swing both ways, right? Like I just assume.
Sure, I couldn't tell you.
Daniel Craig's like in all these movies just tripping with other gay men. So what is it called where you docking?
I swear that's made up. Why is there a term for that? That's like some 13-year-old on Urban Dictionary, you know?
Yeah, who do you think are the first people that try it out?
Oh, you're right. That's where gay sex comes from. Oh, the window's open now, so. Stereo, baby.
Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of
You should watch Wizard People. Because Ian Hart.
yeah. He's got so much ear. Like he's got I have so
I
little.
know.
I have so little, so I notice when people have an overabundance of ear, you know. Remember when the doctor measured my ears and was like
Lost her absolute mind.
because of how small they are?
Yeah.
Ah.
She had to switch to the metric system.
Such an ass. What is it? Abacus or whatever? She had to get that out to
That's for calculating sums.
I know. But she had to add the metric.
See,
and
that
the-
doesn't make sense.
I know, but I wanted to be in on the joke too. I wanted to make some kind of joke about American numbers being stupid people.
The philosopher's math. Maths.
This one time. This is so funny to me. I don't think anybody else thinks this is funny, but okay. So Marissa and I were at
Shout out.
the park. Hey, Marissa. We were at the park and like some cop came and was like, "Oh, you're not supposed to be here," because it was like 9:01 or something, you know. And they asked us for our IDs.
You got 10 days to get ready for 9/11.
And I
Go and get. Chop, chop.
So we had them our IDs. And I assume they were trying to he's like, "Oh, you were born in 1981. How old does that make you?" "I'm bad at math." And I was
Were
like,
you drinking?
"Yeah." And I was like, "I get it. You're trying to test me to see if it's a fake ID." And I was like, you know, I don't remember what year it was. It was like 23. Right. And he was like, oh, yeah, okay. And so I tweeted about it and someone was like, I was like, "What a fucking idiot." And they were like, "Yeah, who says math? It's maths." And I was like, "Nope, that's not what, nope."
Says the person who's never met Americans, apparently.
I was like, "No, that's just no." That's not the ridiculous part.
There's more than one math, okay?
Who says, "Oh, it's maths"? Who says math? Every fucking
Tell me that Bobby's serial number so I can report him to the chief inspector. Post haste.
Open Bobby's. Yeah, there's no PNR in this, but there is butt, and there is dudes making out. So I guess I forgive it for that, for no PNR.
When dude is pissing at Martin?
Yeah. Oh, I try. Yeah. I do kind of love whenever
He's in, what was he in?
He was in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Something I've actually seen.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It was Deep Rising.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We gotta redo that one.
Yeah, we got to redo that one as a treat. R.I.P. Yeah. He's got red hair, so, he's on my shit list.
He does?
Yeah. He does.
Isn't Ian Hart a ginger too?
We've already established he's not gay and he has huge ears, so he was in the dumper before red hair was even. What were you saying about when he's peeing at Martin?
Oh, that's all.
Oh, okay.
Just wanted to reference it.
I was like, is his dick really out?
Right.
It wasn't.
That's why I brought it up.
It wasn't. I'm always trying to see. I remember. I would always ask dudes to let me watch them pee, and they never wanted to let me. And I was like, I just want to watch it. I don't understand. I want to understand how you pee. Fucking ridiculous.
There's some comedic tweets about people, this is this is not an uncommon.
But I don't just mean people I'd had intercourse with. There was one, I think before you and I got together when I had that hookup, 48 hours before you and I got together.
Shout out.
Shout out Barf. You remember
no relation to Mapes.
You remember when he texted me randomly and was just like, I just wanted to let you know
you up?
He was like, he said something that was like, I just wanted you to know that like I value you and like you're a good person, and I convinced myself that he was gonna kill himself. I was like, no. I freaked out. And then it was just, I don't know, he was probably just drunk or something. He was fine. I was like, thanks.
Was that before or
thanks,
after?
Buddy. After, probably after.
Well, so.
Yeah.
Makes sense that you were.
That was so, oh my God. Yeah, a little traumatized.
Yeah.
Never befriend a man at work.
Yeah. It's a good thing we never worked together.
Oh my God, I forgot. Yeah, we did work together.
Robin?
Ethan and Robin. Gay. This movie is gay. Yeah, no, I like it. I think it's good. I think it's a good movie.
It's fine.
I think it's good for what it is, which is the 90s tale about how white men are oppressed. And I think this is the only way you can do
Family
that.
drama. At Bob's Burger.
Gentlemen.
I don't know if you're a fan of the Redgraves?
I like them. I don't know what it is.
I don't get it. Especially since they're gingers.
Well, not really.
Okay.
They're blondes. They just can go. Blondes can go red easier than they have. So, I like. I think Natasha Richardson. She was in a lot of stuff, and I was a fan of hers. She was married to PP Pants Neeson. And
Nissan.
she died suddenly. It was very sad. It was very sad. But I was a fan of hers, so
I made a sad noise.
Such a fucking asshole. So I don't know. There's something that my enjoyment of her got thrown to the rest of the Redgrave
I just
family.
like that one of them is always in something that we watch.
Yeah, that's why I like them. It's sort of by association.
Like the one in Wild.
Yeah.
Is that the same one that was in The Portrait of a Lady? Is that what it was?
I don't know what you're talking about specifically. Remember the one that was in Gods and Monsters? She's the aunt. Remember the maid in Gods and Monsters who was great? She's a Redgrave.
Oh, okay.
She's Auntie Redgrave.
I just feel like they
Mama Redgrave, it was the one in Wild. She's the mama of Jolie and Natasha.
Okay.
Natasha, R.I.P.
Vanessa is the only one that I remember the name of.
Yeah, there's another one. Yeah, there's two Redgraves.
Lynn?
Yeah, Lynn, I think is the one that I think that was in Gods and Monsters. Or I have that backwards. But I don't think so. But I might, because I'm bad with names. Would you recommend this film?
It's all right. I was honestly a little disappointed from how I sort of built it up in my memory.
Yeah.
The sex scene was so short.
But you said it was longer than you thought.
No.
Oh, you said you thought it was longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it really impacted me the first time I saw it.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I do wish they'd given a lot more time to it.
Yeah.
Just dedicated half of the film at least. It's
Yeah.
so like grabbing ass and shit, kissing, blowing.
They really commit.
They do. They commit, and it's nice. No complaints. Yeah, I don't know.
It's all right. I mean, yeah, it's...
I think there's like subtleties to it that make it... I think it's a really interesting movie specifically for what it is. Like, it doesn't... I mean, I don't say this in a shitty way, but it doesn't have like a crazy amount of like... Like, it's just a very straightforward, like, kind of domestic squabble. Like, who's going to get custody? But it has a lot of like even the scene in the bathroom where he goes in and he locks the door with the kid. And then he's talking about how his dad is having sex and how like they don't want his son, they don't want him to become like that. They want him to be normal, and that's why they don't want him to live with his dad and shit like that. And he's just like looking like...
Have you ever seen dogs do it? Or monkeys in the zoo? You know, up the... Well, that's the way they do it. It's not normal, Oliver. Two men doing that in bed together, it's not normal. That's why we want you here with us. And I don't want you worrying about all that stuff they say about it being in your genes and that it can get passed down to you, because it won't. That's crap. Men like your father, well, they choose to be that way.
I'm like, yeah, no, that's like such a like abusive and violating way to talk to a child.
Yeah.
But like, people are more concerned with the fact that his dad is going to sleep with his partner in the next room. And so stuff like that, like, it's very, very like, you know, they freak you out a lot in it. Like, they make you like scared for the kid. Like, you know, you're really like, and even like, even in the way that they, you know, I do like how it really does state like, it's not actually about sexual orientation. Like, that's not what's going to, you know, damage a child. It's going to be about who is safe. Like, and that's not determined by like what your orientation is. And I know it's like heavy handed in that department, but it kind of had to be, I think, in the 90s, you know, you had to sort of, you know, push it home. But it does that without, you know, it's as heavy handed as it is, it still leaves a lot to like, you know, it doesn't, there's not like a crazy amount of dialogue. There's not like, it's not like repeatedly over and over telling you the same thing. It's not saying it and saying it and saying it to where you're like, oh, I get it. Yeah. And I think it holds up. And I think especially in like today's climate, when these conversations are unfortunately like coming up again and everybody's so scared about what about the children, but it's like, they're not actually worried about the kids. They're just worried about who's gay and who's trans and who's doing drag and like all this shit that like doesn't make sense. Like, but they're not actually like, it's like when your focus is on the thing that you don't agree with for the safety of the kids, and not on what is actually best for the kid, like, it's not helping anything.
Yeah.
And I think, there are a lot of, like, the courts are going to be more likely to give a kid to their mom than their dad. Like, that's a very, but, like, it's, yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's an interesting sort of,
Yeah, I mean, it's sad how still relevant it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, like, compared to Wild, where it's
yeah, right.
the corruption of youth,
Yeah. Right. And I was thinking about that, like, because, it's the final film of the month. So, I was thinking about which films kind of stood out, and I was like, yeah, I think how we started and how we started and how we ended, really, we, like, two sides of a similar coin, or the different sides of a different coin, or something like that. The same side of a different coin. I don't know. But, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, really, it really is, like, a very sort of subversive, real, like, making you feel that, like, fear of becoming,
Yeah.
the thing that you don't want to be, like, metaphor for homosexuality, like, really, really good sort of, like,
Yeah, and puts it in the, I didn't think of this before, but, like, that's what some of the, I don't know if it was, like, I'm a teenage werewolf or whatever, really seems like it's about puberty.
right. Coming
Becoming
into,
a monster.
Yeah. And, like, Ginger Snaps is another one where
Right.
it's about, like,
Right.
it's all about, like, menstruation is a big part of it, and, like, coming into your sexuality and becoming, and, like, how you are absolutely made into a monster, by these things. So there's, like, and these things are, like, great ways to, I mean, this is one of the reasons why, like, horror and queer cinema are,
Right.
hug so tightly, because you can have metaphors for things, like that are, really interesting. But, yeah, I think, In and Out is one where it's like, I wish it said something. That would be great if it had. It just told me that Joan Cusack's great in whatever she's in, which I already knew. Thank you.
Thanks for nothing.
And Wild, yeah, that was one where it was like, you're being presented this film of, like, the tragedy of this man, but you're like, yeah, but he was kind of, like, just having sex with teenagers all the time, so I don't know if we need to put him up on that kind of pedestal. Like, that's a little weird.
The scene I used for the teaser for that movie,
Yeah.
it has a voiceover.
Uh-huh.
That's, something Oscar Wilde wrote.
Right. Yeah.
About being in prison. He's like, it's so funny to me.
Oh, God.
Because it's like, in prison, every day is a year made of long days. One of the greatest literary minds of the English language.
Oh, man. No, but I really feel like the first and last films that we picked actually said something,
Gotcha.
as opposed to the two in the middle, which were like,
almost.
and you're like,
Right.
what?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I think,
I think In and Out thought it was saying, well, I think they
Yeah.
both did.
Yeah.
In and
For
Out
sure,
and
for
Wild
sure,
both
yeah.
thought they were saying,
No, that's what I said. Like,
Yeah.
when we were watching In and Out, like, how they're like, I know what the intention.
I'm Spartacus.
Yeah, the intention was supposed to be, if this happens, then. But it's like, I don't. Everyone
works.
saying, "Oh, he turned me gay," is not quite the.
yeah.
I do like that Debbie Reynolds said, "I'm a lesbian." She didn't say I'm gay. She said, "I'm a lesbian." I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." Yeah.
Whose mom is she?
Carrie
Carrie Fisher?
Fisher. Carrie Fisher. Oh, Princess Leia, who was in Star
Who was
Wars.
gay. Oh,
What about you? How do you feel about
I'm
them?
gay, yeah.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
Uh,
I think we're the same. We're not so different, you and I.
I know you already said you were gay. I'm talking about the movies.
I admit that In and Out wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was different than I thought it was going to
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
So, I'll give it that.
Yeah.
It's yeah. We did a whole episode on it, so I don't have to repeat my thoughts any further.
Yeah.
But, you know, Nightmare 2 definitely.
I kept forgetting. I'm like, we did Wild, we did In and Out, and I'm like, what the fuck was the first one? I'm like, oh right.
I know. Every month I can never remember 4 at a time. Yeah, Nightmare 2 holds up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as, you know, I feel like it falls apart a little bit at the end.
That's for sure.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit.
Yeah,
I mean, it brings it back. It works in its favor. Normally, oh, thank God it's over.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Usually is a cop out.
Yeah.
In this way, it undermines the cop out of.
Yeah. Love will
He
save you.
just, yeah, right. So
yeah.
that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. It's no Nightmare on Elm Street 1 where they pull her through the little window.
No, it'll never be.
No ending will ever compare to that. Ever.
As I've said before, that's one of my favorite things. Anytime that happens in a movie. I mean, that one's one of the best cases
for sure.
ever.
Yeah.
But when Jim Jarmusch gets pulled into the sewer tube in the 90s It and the one in Alien 3, Alien Cubed or whatever,
yeah, when it
where
gets...
it's CG, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
Alien Cube.
it just looks goofy.
Yeah. Oh, we got to do that one.
Ugh.
It's got fucking
I know who it's got.
Ron Perlman, Michael Wincott.
I care more about Dan Hedaya.
And thank you. I was like, and that one guy.
Is he in Deep Rising 2 as well? I mean,
you would have to. I don't know if there was a sequel to that.
I don't think there was.
No,
even though it was supposed to be the gateway to
oh my god,
Kong.
Oh my god, that's right. Oh my god. Now, I don't remember. You'd have to look it up and see if Dan.
I just know that those movies have enough in common that, and I think we watched them close enough that that could be within a year of each other. That ships and
yeah, for sure.
vessels and
lots of. Well, there's lots of water.
Okay, thank you.
And there's a lot of there's underwater, even though it's a ship in space. There's lots of underwater things.
Okay, thank you. That's validated.
Oh,
I couldn't remember.
Dorith also is in Alien.
Dorith?
Dorith. Brad.
Dorf.
Our.
That's right.
Yeah, he's in.
I forgot.
Our man. BD. Yeah, it's good. It's a good one. It's also written by Joss Whedon.
Did he write it?
And
and direct?
Oh, yeah, he might have directed it.
I'm pretty sure he directed.
Yeah. He wrote it, though, yeah. That's why you get the brilliant line at the end. Well, we saved the world. Love it. You got Sigourney Weaver, and she does this, and she makes the basket. It's not an edit. She actually gets it in one.
Like Michael Keaton in Multiplicity.
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
When he throws the beer over his shoulder? There was trivia about it.
Oh, that's right.
Even though it goes out of frame, so
yeah,
whatever. Fucking Multiplicity.
Multiplicity. Remember when, I know you don't, but remember when we did the episode and I went on for a really long time about how the ending where it ends with him making because the whole thing is him like building a
mystery,
a room, like, and his like, it's under construction for like, and then he finishes it at the end, like to prove that he's like a better husband. And I said that And I went on for a really long time about how it was very surprising to me that it was a sex dungeon and there was a swing and then they had like a whole 50 Shades scene, that I was like really shocked about that. And I stand by that.
It was a surprising ending.
I've seen Multiplicity so many times. Remember the
She touched my peanut.
my Peppy. Happy Pride,
Yeah.
Any last words?
Throw a brick for
Yeah.
gay.
Make me as a hollow reed, and I may play and plant thy seed. Rascal's closet may be lit, and have a needy rhyme in it. Make me as a flute of stone, and when I play thy wind is blown. Rascals hide away my chill, and die away from sill to sill. Hollow reed, hollow reed.
Our daughter is doing something serious.